Every fortune ever created, every empire ever built, and every life that has been transformed from poverty to abundance began with a single invisible seed, a thought. Thought is the silent architect of destiny. It holds no weight, no form, no color, yet it builds palaces, drives industries, and shapes the future of nations. The difference between those who live in scarcity and those who rise to unimaginable wealth is not luck, not chance, but the power of a focused, burning thought turned into definite purpose. This is the message of Think and Grow Rich, a philosophy that has produced more millionaires than any other book in history. But let me be clear. Growing rich is not about money alone. Riches come in many forms: financial freedom, health, relationships, influence, and above all, peace of mind. When you master the principles you're about to hear, you will hold the blueprint to transform your entire life. Napoleon Hill spent over 20 years studying the greatest industrialists, Carnegie, Ford, Rockefeller, Edison, and discovered that every one of them followed a pattern. These principles are timeless. They worked 100 years ago, and they work today. Before we go deeper, pause for a moment. If you are serious about rewriting your future, hit that subscribe button, comment where you're watching from, and share this with someone hungry for success. Because what you're about to unlock is not just information, it's transformation. This is the starting point of wealth. This is a journey to think and grow rich. Every great success story begins with a dream, but not every dreamer succeeds. Why? Because dreams without desire are fragile, fleeting, and weak. Desire is the spark that ignites the engine of creation. It is not a passing wish, not a half-hearted hope. It is a burning obsession so intense that it pushes sleep away, silences doubt, and fuels the body with relentless energy. Napoleon Hill declared that desire is the starting point of all achievement, the first step toward riches. If you want wealth, influence, or freedom, you must want it so fiercely that nothing, no obstacle, no setback, no criticism can extinguish that flame. Consider the story of Thomas Edison. He failed over 10,000 times before inventing the electric light bulb. A man without burning desire would have quit after the first few failures. Edison, however, declared, "I have not failed. I have simply found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is not the language of hope. That is the language of obsession. Desire turned failure into stepping stones, and impossibility into history-making success. Andrew Carnegie, the great steel magnate, told Hill directly that his fortune was not built by luck, but by desire organized into definite purpose. Carnegie started as a poor immigrant boy with nothing in his pockets but fire in his spirit. He desired greatness, not as idle fantasy, but as a demand upon life. That demand attracted opportunity, ideas, and partnerships until he became one of the richest men of his era. So I ask you now, what do you desire? Not what you wish for when you are tired and discouraged. Not what you think about casually when life is convenient. I ask, what do you desire so deeply that you are willing to sacrifice comfort, endure rejection, and push forward even when the world laughs at you? That desire, when crystallized into a clear goal, is the seed of riches. Hill gave us a formula. 1. Fix in your mind the exact amount of money or goal you desire. Be definite. 2. Decide exactly what you intend to give in return, because nothing comes without cost. 3. Establish a definite date when you intend to achieve it. 4. Create a clear plan and begin at once, whether you feel ready or not. 5. Write a concise statement of what you desire, the deadline, what you will give, and the plan. 6. Read it aloud twice daily, once before sleeping, once after waking. Believe it, feel it, own it. This is not mere theory. This is a contract between your mind and destiny. The act of writing, speaking, and affirming your desire daily builds faith, and faith turns invisible dreams into physical reality. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because their desires are weak. They say they want success, but they are willing to settle for distraction. They say they want wealth, but they are unwilling to pay the price of discipline. Weak desires bring weak results, just as a small fire cannot produce great heat. If you want to be rich in money and spirit, in influence, your desire must burn white hot. That fire must fuel your action, even when results are slow. The world belongs not to the hopeful, but to the obsessed. Your riches are waiting. The question is, do you desire them enough to claim them? Desire is the seed of riches, but without faith, that seed dies in the soil. Faith is eternal power that transforms your desire into reality. It is a chemical that, when mixed with thought, turns ordinary ideas into gold. Napoleon Hill said it best. Faith is the only known antidote for failure. Understand this. Faith is not something you are born with. It is a state of mind you can create. You build it, you strengthen it, you direct it. Faith grows through repetition, through affirming your belief so consistently that your subconscious mind accepts it as fact. When your subconscious accepts an idea as truth, it works day and night to turn it into reality. Think of Henry Ford. Before his factories, before his Model T, before the Ford Motor Company, he was ridiculed for attempting the impossible. But Ford had one unshakable asset: faith. He told himself that he would build a car affordable for the common man. He fed that belief into his subconscious until doubt had no place to live. The world mocked him, yet he moved forward. Faith turned the impossible into an industry. Faith is generated through autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is the process of feeding your mind affirmations, mental pictures, and commands until they sink deep into the subconscious. It is not a wishful whisper. It is a daily discipline. Every morning, every night, you must declare your desire as if it is already accomplished. I am wealthy. I am confident. I am powerful. My success is inevitable. At first, your conscious mind may resist. It will call you a liar, but persist long enough, and your subconscious will accept it as truth. And once it does, nothing on earth can stop it. Let's be clear. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between truth and falsehood. It accepts whatever you feed it. If you repeat fear, poverty, and self-doubt, it will manifest those conditions in your life. If you repeat courage, abundance, and determination, it will manifest riches. You are either programming your mind with faith or poisoning it with fear. There is no neutral ground. This is why Napoleon Hill instructed us to create a definite statement of desire. Not only must you write down the exact amount of money you intend to earn, but you must also speak it aloud with emotion. Faith is emotion applied to thought. A cold, lifeless affirmation will not move your subconscious. But when you feel the words, when you see the picture in your mind and speak it with passion, your subconscious accepts it as law. Edison, Carnegie, Ford, Rockefeller, all understood this principle. They lived in the reality of their vision before the world could see it. They spoke their wealth into existence. They affirmed their destiny until faith burned so brightly that no obstacle could dim it. The Bible itself supports this principle. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is the bridge between your invisible dream and your visible reality. So, how do you build this power in your life? 1. Write your desire statement. Be specific, amount, deadline, and what you will give in return. 2. Repeat it aloud twice daily, morning and night. Look in the mirror. Speak with conviction. 3. Visualize it as already done. Picture yourself living in the home, driving the car, shaking hands on the deal. 4. Feel the emotion. Live in the joy of it now, before it arrives. 5. Reject negative thought. When doubt enters, replace it instantly with faith-filled affirmation. At first, it will feel forced, but repetition will plant faith into the soil of your mind. Soon, faith will grow stronger than fear, and when faith rules your subconscious, success becomes inevitable. Remember this truth: you do not attract what you want. You attract what you believe. If you believe in poverty, you will live in poverty. If you believe in abundance, you will magnetize abundance. Faith is the master key. Plant your desire. Feed it with autosuggestion. Build it with faith. When your belief becomes unshakable, the universe will bend to your command. Desire gives you the vision. Faith gives you the belief. But to move your dream from spirit into matter, you must acquire knowledge and apply it with imagination. Knowledge alone is not power. Knowledge becomes power only when it is organized, specialized, and directed toward a definite purpose. Think of the countless university graduates who walk across the stage with degrees in hand, yet struggle to find opportunity. They have accumulated general knowledge, facts, theories, information, but little of it is organized into a practical plan for wealth. Meanwhile, the entrepreneur without a degree but with specialized knowledge and burning imagination often rises to the top. Why? Because specialized knowledge, applied with vision, is the foundation of riches. Napoleon Hill tells us plainly, there are two kinds of knowledge, general and specialized. General knowledge fills libraries, but it rarely fills bank accounts. Specialized knowledge, focused on solving a problem, creating value or serving others, has built empires. Andrew Carnegie knew little about the technical details of steel production. Instead, he surrounded himself with men who possessed specialized knowledge. He organized that knowledge into a system, applied it with imagination, and created a fortune so vast that it reshaped America's skyline. But knowledge alone is not enough. You must ignite it with imagination, the workshop of the mind. Imagination takes the raw material of knowledge and turns it into ideas, inventions, and enterprises. There are two forms, synthetic imagination and creative imagination. Synthetic imagination rearranges old concepts into new combinations. This is how Henry Ford applied existing principles of mechanics to create the assembly line. He did not invent the automobile. Cars already existed. But through synthetic imagination, he created a method to mass-produce vehicles cheaply and efficiently, revolutionizing transportation. Creative imagination, on the other hand, is the higher form. It is a channel through which new ideas and flashes of inspiration enter the mind. It is a voice of infinite intelligence speaking in silence. Great leaders, inventors, and artists often describe sudden sparks of insight that change history. This is creative imagination in action. Consider the Wright brothers. They possessed only modest education, yet their burning desire to fly, combined with their specialized knowledge of mechanics and their imaginative experiments, gave birth to aviation. They visualized man soaring above the earth long before the first successful flight. That picture in their imagination became the reality we now take for granted. The same principle is available to you. Wealth begins in imagination. The skyscraper was once a picture in an architect's mind. The smartphone was once a dream in an engineer's imagination. The song that stirs your soul was once only a whisper in a musician's heart. Everything that exists today existed first in imagination. So how do you apply this in your own life? 1. Identify your goal. Decide what riches you seek, whether money, business, influence, or mastery. 2. Seek specialized knowledge. Read, learn, and associate with experts who possess the skills you need. If you cannot afford to learn yourself, build alliances with those who already know. 3. Enter the workshop of imagination. Daily, set aside quiet moments to visualize your desire as complete. See the details, live in the picture. Allow your mind to combine knowledge with possibility. 4. Act on flashes of inspiration. When your imagination delivers a new idea, do not dismiss it as fantasy. Record it, analyze it, and apply it. Many fortunes have been lost because someone ignored a small idea that could have grown into greatness. Understand this truth. Riches do not come by accident. They come by design, desire, faith, specialized knowledge, and imagination woven together. The man or woman who learns to direct imagination with a clear purpose holds in their hands the keys to kingdoms. You do not need to know everything. You need to know where to get the knowledge and how to apply it with imagination. Knowledge becomes wealth when directed towards service, creation, and vision. Remember this. Imagination backed by desire is unstoppable. Imagine boldly. Acquire specialized knowledge. And then step into the world knowing you are no longer a dreamer. You are a creator. Desire gives birth to a goal. Faith gives you the belief. Knowledge and imagination provide the tools. But here's where most people stumble. Without organized planning, dreams remain trapped in clouds. A plan is the bridge that carries your idea across the river of impossibility into the land of reality. Napoleon Hill said, "You must have a plan, and it must be put into action." Planning transforms vague hopes into definite steps. You may have the finest vision in the world, but without a blueprint, you will wander aimlessly, chasing distractions instead of building your fortune. Think of a builder who wishes to construct a skyscraper. He does not walk onto an empty lot with a pile of steel and bricks and say, "Let's hope this turns into a tower." No, he works from a blueprint. Every beam, every floor, every detail is accounted for. The same principle applies to wealth. If you do not have a plan, your riches will collapse like an unstructured building. And here's the truth. Your first plan may fail. In fact, it probably will. But failure does not mean defeat. It means adjustment. Hill reminds us, temporary defeat is not failure. It is only a signal that your plans are not sound. Rebuild them and set sail once more. Many quit at the first setback, but the wealthy persist, revising their plans until success bows to their persistence. Alongside planning comes the power of decision. Decision is the spark that ignites your plan into motion. Procrastination is the assassin of riches. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is not always talent. It is decisiveness. Successful men and women make decisions quickly and firmly, changing them only when necessary. Unsuccessful people hesitate, second-guess, and allow opportunities to pass while they wait for perfect conditions that never arrive. Henry Ford is a prime example. He was often criticized for being stubborn in his decisions, but that decisiveness became the foundation of his empire. While others debated, Ford acted. He understood that hesitation breeds weakness, but decisive action breeds momentum. So, how do you apply this principle? 1. Form a clear, practical plan for achieving your desire. Write the steps down. 2. Assemble a mastermind group, allies and mentors who can lend their specialized knowledge. 3. Put your plan into immediate action. Do not wait for every detail to be perfect. Perfection comes in the process, not the beginning. 4. When a plan fails, create a new one. Adjust until you find a strategy that works. 5. Practice decisiveness. Train yourself to make decisions quickly. Doubt is expensive. Indecision has bankrupted more men than lack of opportunity. Understand this. Organized planning is not about grand theories. It is about daily execution. It is a discipline of turning your goal into a task list and attacking it step by step until your dream breathes life. Decision is not about arrogance. It is about courage. It is a refusal to let fear hold the steering wheel of your destiny. The world does not reward the hesitant. It rewards those who plan their course, decide their direction, and march forward without apology. Your riches are not waiting in the realm of someday. They are waiting in the realm of action. Organize your plan, decide your path, and then move. The man or woman who plans with precision and decides with courage is the one who commands their future. Every great achievement stands on two pillars, persistence and the mastermind principle. Without them, desire dies, plans fail, and faith withers. With them, nothing, no setback, no rejection, no obstacle can stop the forward march toward riches. Let's begin with persistence. Napoleon Hill defined persistence as sustained effort necessary to induce faith. It is the power to hold on long after others have let go. It is a determination to keep pushing when the doors of opportunity are locked, to keep walking when the road seems endless, to keep climbing when the mountain mocks your strength. Look at the story of Colonel Harlan Sanders. At the age of 65, with nothing but a fried chicken recipe and a dream, he traveled door to door seeking restaurant owners who would partner with him. He was rejected over 1,000 times before someone finally said yes. Today, that persistence lives on in the global KFC empire. Imagine if he had quit after the first 100 rejections. Persistence turned a senior citizen with a recipe into a worldwide legend. Or think of Abraham Lincoln. He failed in business, lost elections, suffered bankruptcy, and endured tragedy, yet his persistence carried him to the presidency of the United States. The lesson is clear. Riches, success, greatness, none of these bow to talent alone. They bow to persistence. Most people quit too soon. They dig for gold, grow weary, and abandon the mine, only to leave just 3 feet away from the richest vein. Hill wrote of this in Think and Grow Rich. Most people are ready to throw their aims and purposes overboard and give up at the first sign of opposition or misfortune. Few carry on despite all opposition until they attain their goal. So, how do you develop persistence? 1. A definite purpose. Without a burning desire, persistence cannot exist. 2. A clear plan. Organized steps fuel steady action. 3. A mind closed tightly to negativity. Reject discouragement, criticism, and doubt. 4. A mastermind alliance. Surround yourself with others who encourage, not discourage, your efforts. Which brings us to the second pillar, the mastermind principle. Hill declared, "No individual may have great power without availing himself of the mastermind." What is it? The coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people working harmoniously toward a definite purpose. A mastermind is not just a group. It is a source of power that emerges when minds meet, ideas clash, and energy multiplies. Andrew Carnegie attributed his fortune to his mastermind group of 50 men. Henry Ford aligned with Edison, Harvey Firestone, and other giants, pooling ideas and resources. These men knew that no one succeeds alone. The lone wolf may howl, but it is the pack that brings down the prey. The mastermind principle works because of synergy. When combined intelligence and energy create results far greater than the sum of individual effort. When you share your vision with others alike purpose, you borrow their courage when yours falters, their wisdom when yours is limited, their strength when yours is weak. Ask yourself, who is in your mastermind? Are you surrounded by doubters, complainers, and critics? Or by builders, believers, and visionaries? Your environment shapes your persistence. If you wish to grow rich, place yourself among those who breathe persistence, not excuses. Here's a formula. Persistence keeps you moving when the way is dark. The mastermind lights the path by combining minds into one unstoppable force. Together, they guarantee success. Remember this: the world never crowns a quitter. History does not remember the one who almost made it. The crowns, the thrones, the fortunes, all go to those who persisted beyond every no and every rejection, supported by allies who fuel their fire. If you desire riches, persist. If you desire greatness, join forces with a mastermind. When persistence meets collective power, destiny bows, and the impossible becomes inevitable. We have seen the power of desire, faith, knowledge, planning, and persistence. But all of these principles operate through one gateway, the subconscious mind. It is the fertile soil in which your thoughts grow. It is a link between your conscious desires and infinite intelligence, the universal source of all ideas, inspiration, and riches. Napoleon Hill called the subconscious the connecting link. It never sleeps. It works 24 hours a day, whether you direct it or not. And here lies the secret. Your subconscious does not judge. It does not filter. It does not argue. It accepts whatever you plant, whether fear or faith, riches or poverty, success or failure. The harvest always matches the seed. If you fill your subconscious with thoughts of defeat, criticism, and poverty, it will arrange your life to reflect them. If you feed it faith, abundance, and confidence, it will magnetize opportunities, people, and ideas that match those thoughts. This is why daily auto-suggestion is not optional. It is the very process by which you direct your subconscious toward wealth. The subconscious mind is linked directly with your emotions. Cold, lifeless words carry no power. But words wrapped in emotion, faith, love, enthusiasm, gratitude, sink deep into the subconscious and ignite action. If you affirm your desire with burning emotion, your subconscious accepts it as truth and works endlessly to make it real. Now consider the role of the brain. Hill described the brain as both a broadcasting and receiving station for thought vibrations. Every thought you generate is energy. Your brain broadcasts it into the ether and in turn receives vibrations from other minds. This is why your associations matter. If you keep company with fearful, negative thinkers, you will tune into their destructive frequency. But if you surround yourself with faith-filled, success-driven people, your mind will align with their frequency of abundance. This principle explains why mastermind alliances are so powerful. Combined brains generate greater energy, transmitting ideas and inspiration back and forth until breakthroughs appear. The brain is not just an organ. It is an antenna for success or failure, depending on how you tune it. Finally, he'll introduce a mysterious but undeniable sixth sense, what he called the Temple of Wisdom. The sixth sense is a faculty through which infinite intelligence communicates with you, often as hunches, flashes of inspiration, or sudden urges to act. Many of the world's greatest leaders have described moments when an inner voice guided them at critical junctures. Edison spoke of ideas arriving suddenly as if from another world. Lincoln often felt invisible guidance in moments of national crisis. You cannot control the sixth sense at will, but you can prepare yourself to receive its gifts. How? By living in harmony with the other principles: desire, faith, planning, persistence, and auto-suggestion. When your mind is focused, disciplined, and tuned to success, the sixth sense awakens. It will whisper the right idea, nudge you toward the right decision, or warn you away from danger. Here is the formula. Guard your subconscious. Feed it only what you wish to experience. Keep your emotions positive and faith-filled. Use your brain as a transmitter of abundance, not fear, and listen carefully for the still, small voice of the sixth sense. It may guide you to the riches you seek faster than any plan could. Your subconscious is always working. The only question is, whose orders is it following? Your fears or your faith? Direct it with intention, and it will carry you to riches beyond imagination. You can possess desire, faith, knowledge, plans, persistence, and even the guidance of your subconscious mind. But if fear controls you, your riches will never materialize. Fear is a great thief. It robs men and women of their dreams before they are born. It whispers lies, paralyzes action, and convinces millions to settle for mediocrity when greatness is within their reach. Napoleon Hill identified 6 basic fears that poison the human mind. 1. The fear of poverty. 2. The fear of criticism. 3. The fear of ill health. 4. The fear of the loss of love. 5. The fear of old age. 6. The fear of death. These fears are subtle. They creep in silently. Poverty whispers, "What if you fail and end up with nothing?" Criticism mocks, "What will people say if you don't succeed?" Ill health warns, "You don't have the strength." Loss of love threatens, "If you chase your dream, you'll be abandoned." Old age sneers, "It's too late." And death, the final fear, says, "Why bother? Life is short anyway." Most people never rise because they bow before these invisible tyrants. Fear paralyzes decision, kills persistence, and poisons faith. Hill wrote, "Fears are nothing more than a state of mind. And if fear is a state of mind, it can be conquered." How? By replacing fear with faith. The two cannot occupy the same space. When you affirm abundance, visualize success, and act boldly, fear loses its grip. Fear is darkness. Faith is light. The moment light enters, darkness vanishes. Every wealthy, influential, and successful individual in history has learned to master fear. They felt it, yes, but they did not obey it. They acted in spite of it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is a decision to move forward regardless. And this is where the rich mindset comes in. To think and grow rich, you must live daily in a mental environment of abundance. The rich mindset does not say, "I hope it works." It declares, "It must work because I will not stop until it does." It does not ask, "What if I fail?" It asks, "What if I succeed beyond imagination?" The rich mindset sees problems as stepping stones, setbacks as lessons, and rejection as redirection. It is disciplined, grateful, and unshakably confident. It knows that money is only one form of wealth, and that true riches also include health, happiness, relationships, and purpose. So, how do you cultivate the rich mindset? 1. Daily gratitude. Begin and end each day by focusing on what you already have. Gratitude multiplies abundance. 2. Bold decision-making. Train yourself to act quickly and with courage. Fear fades in the face of decisive action. 3. Guard your environment. Refuse to entertain negative talk, news, or people who feed fear. 4. Affirm wealth daily. Speak your desire with faith and emotion until your subconscious accepts it. 5. Act with persistence. Fear retreats when it meets relentless forward motion. Remember this truth. Fear destroys more dreams than failure ever could. Failure can teach. Fear paralyzes. If you conquer fear and live with the rich mindset, you hold the last key to the treasure chest. Wealth belongs to those who dare, not those who shrink. To think and grow rich is to rise above fear. Tune your mind to faith and walk boldly toward destiny. You have now walked through the timeless blueprint of Think and Grow Rich. Desire, faith, specialized knowledge, imagination, planning, persistence, the mastermind, the subconscious, the brain, the sixth sense, and the mastery of fear. These are not theories. They are laws. They work for anyone who dares to apply them with discipline and intensity. Every fortune ever built has followed these principles. Every leader, every innovator, every empire has been forged by men and women who first thought their riches into existence. The truth is simple. Riches begin in the mind. Poverty and wealth are both children of thought. You are the master builder of your destiny. Now, the question is not whether this works. The question is whether you will work it. Will you continue drifting with weak desires, paralyzed by fear and indecision? Or will you rise, plant your desire with faith, fuel it with persistence, and claim the riches that are already waiting for you? The path is clear. The time is now. Riches will not come to the hesitant. They will not come to the fearful. They come to those who think boldly, decide firmly, and act relentlessly. So I leave you with this challenge. Decide today to think and grow rich. If this message has stirred something deep within you, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and comment, "I choose wealth." Share this with someone who is ready to unlock their power. Your riches are waiting. Your future is calling. Dare to think and grow rich.